February 14 here for the half-cycle harmonic analysis on Bitcoin. Today, we also look at the master plan, which is the chart that allows us to conveniently visualize the structures immediately. But today, we are not dedicating ourselves to short-term cycles. Instead, we are changing the time frame, moving to higher degrees. Specifically, you are observing the T5, T4, and T3, that is the so-called annual, semi-annual, and quarterly. At first glance, it would seem obvious that the closure of the semi-annual T4 that began operations on August 6th should be distinctly identified at the low point of January 10th. This anticipated closure would receive further confirmation in the latest print we have just produced regarding the T3 Arst diamond, the renowned Direktor's Arst. However, despite this, you can still observe the reference laboratory's box chart, which is adamantly insisting on maintaining a base closure for the semi-annual period. Consequently, this closure could still potentially occur by the very end of February, with a specific expected date set for the 27th. However, this is only true if the monthly chart we are currently analyzing still aims for a closure at a lower level. You are very well aware that obviously, to accurately follow this dynamic, it is essential to once again focus on the weekly cycle, as it remains the only time frame that deserves our attention. If in fact this weekly cycle began on January 13th and has since closed, you would also have initiated a new monthly level of investigation. This suggests that if we take the reference swing by establishing the new T2 structure, we will also confirm the closure of the semi-annual period, which under the current circumstances is impossible. To deal with this situation without considering the inverse. Also here, as you can see, we can identify within the base box the closure of the T+5 inverse, the T+5 nicknamed the hole. Obviously, this would mean that since the peak of January 20th, we have launched very important structures, and they would obviously be those that by pushing would lead us to update lows in the previously described scenario. But given that harmonic structures are dynamic and evolving, we must always consider the hypothesis that the structure still has space to close in the long box that you see on the chart, and which is roughly around mid or late April. We see how to currently follow these macro structures. I recommend you move to the auto analyzer, set it again to cycle 8002, and thus follow the reference levels for a new weekly, both regarding the structures of the bi-daily charts and the position of the reference FLD and the swings to be broken. If this cyclic and temporal knowledge is interesting, regardless of your strategies and operations, follow the link below to join us within the half cycle and collaborate with us in the growth of our community. Happy slow trading to everyone and best regards from the Director.